What is school-based occupational therapy? Well, that's a loaded question, so we're going to break it down to give you the quick what you need to know about school-based occupational therapy services and what a school-based occupational therapist does. And in case you haven't noticed, we're going with the rusty old school vibes, so enjoy the throwback and transport yourself to what it used to be like in the classroom. We're breaking school-based occupational therapy into 4 basic areas. We'll discuss the roles that OTs play in the school, the setting and age group, areas of needs that OTs address, and responsibilities. Starting with the roles that occupational therapists have in school-based therapy and all the different hats we wear. And don't worry, we will have a nod later for all you dog lovers, but for now, if you're a cat person, hit that like button for us. First and foremost, you are the treating therapist. You provide services and handle all things related to the student's IEP or 504 plan. You are also an evaluator. You are responsible for conducting formal or informal evaluations on the student's skills and performance and how it impacts their education. Evaluations are completed every 3 years for a student that is on your caseload, and you complete initial evaluations to qualify students for services. As an observer, you go into the classroom and take notes and data on the student's performance in their natural environment. The observation can also be the initial step in the referral process in recommending a student to receive an OT evaluation. As the interventionist, you may give non-OT students very basic strategies and supports for the classroom. Finally, you are a crucial part of a multidisciplinary school team. There are many professionals that support a student's educational performance. These include, but are not limited to, the general education teacher, special education teacher, physical therapist, speech therapist, social worker, school counselor, school psychologist, the vision itinerant, hearing itinerant, adapted PE teacher, as well as building administration and special education administration. Moving on to the setting and age group that school-based OTs work in and with, you can work in all kinds of schools with a variety of populations, general education and special education. You can even service homebound students. The majority of your time will be spent in public school buildings, but if you have private schools within the district, there is a chance you can service them. That looks different in each district. You can also have students placed in therapeutic settings, and those students are placed in that setting because the district cannot meet that student's needs because of the severity of the disability. Your students can be in a general education classroom, which is the larger classroom setting with both IEP and non-IEP students. There are also special education classrooms which are more specialized. The class size is much smaller, and all the students have an IEP for different needs. Homebound students cannot be in school for medical reasons, and these OT services will look different in each district as well. School-based OT start servicing students from the age of 3 all the way through the age of 21. So this age range includes preschoolers, elementary students, middle, junior high school students, and then the transition students. These students are post-high school, the 18 through 21-year-olds. This part of their education is optional. It is up to the family to continue after high school or to permanently stop services once receiving their high school diploma. No matter what age group or setting, all of these students will qualify for OT services through an IEP or individualized education program or a 504 plan. More specifics about what an IEP and 504 plan is will be in a later video, so keep an eye out for that. Here's where the note-taking becomes important, so get ready. Oh, just look at that phenomenal tripod grasp, writing ever so legibly and on the line and in cursive, starting at the left margin. Does anyone use a notebook and pen anymore to take class notes? And more notably, does anyone write in cursive anymore? Anyway, let's focus on the areas of need that the school-based OT addresses. This is not an exhaustive list, just the basics because it covers so much, and yes, there's a piece of notebook paper on the chalkboard. We're going with it. Where are the difficulties that the student is experiencing? Is it in the core academics of reading, math, writing, or non-academics like art, music, PE, STEM, in daily routines or completing work tasks? Or is it more environmental? Is the concern in the classroom, lunchroom, gym, playground, or hallway? Once you have identified where the difficulties are happening, you have to hone into the what. What is the skill deficit that the OT can specifically address? Again, this is not an exhaustive list, just the basics. Is the concern a fine visual motor or visual perceptual issue, or also known in the school setting as handwriting? Kidding! Nope, not kidding. If you don't get it now, don't worry. Just give it 2 weeks into the school year and we promise you will. Is it motor planning? Is it self-care? Is it executive functioning, sensory processing, and self-regulation? And as promised, inserted just for the dog lovers of the group. If you have a dog, tell us what breed you have in the comments below. Heading into our very last area, let's talk about the responsibilities you have as a school-based occupational therapist. Again, not an exhaustive list, just the basics. Aside from fulfilling your role as the school OT, you have other duties. As a school OT, you are required by law to carry out whatever is written in the IEP or 504 plan, and you have to monitor any accommodations and strategies and services you have recommended. More specifics on the parts of an IEP will also be in a future video. OTs have quite a bit of documentation to complete, from daily notes to updating IEP goals, intervention plans, writing annual reports, completing evaluations, and keeping track of attendance. Each district will have specific documentation requirements for the OT. There are days where you feel like all you do is attend meetings, and there are a variety of meetings you will be required to attend, which absolutely puts a kink in your daily and weekly schedule. Public school OTs do bill for their services, but not all services are reimbursed by the state. It depends if your student is Medicaid eligible or not. In addition to all this information, we encourage you to look at the individual OT job descriptions of specific school districts, and we highly encourage you to look at your State Board of Education site for information related to special education, which includes OT services, and also look up your state's OT Practice Act. And real quick, in case you are wondering, who is the school-based OT employed by? You can be employed directly by the school district. You can work for a special education cooperative that provides services to certain contracted districts, or you can work through a contract agency. This option is the least secure, as districts will only go for this option if they cannot hire their own. The position is not guaranteed from year to year. We hope this gives you some understanding and clarity of what school-based occupational therapy is and what a school-based occupational therapist does. We hope for genuine excitement about the profession and a commitment to be in it for the long haul. And look at that, perfect sizing of the check mark and done with absolute eye-hand coordination and control to land right in the center of the box. Well done. Setting the tone for this channel. There are all kinds of buckets, different colors, shapes, and sizes, for all sorts of purposes, used to fill, store, carry, and hold anything that is near and dear to us. Buckets are so versatile, just like school-based OT. Many of you are coming in nice and shiny and ready to be purposeful after years of hard work in OT school, and then on the opposite end, there are therapists like me who've been in the profession for quite some time, not as shiny, a bit rusty from years of hard work, but still useful and purposeful. We hope you consider joining this community, not to be just a passive audience, but to be active contributors. No matter how shiny or rusty your bucket is, you will have a purpose within this community. So get your bucket ready. Thanks for spending some time with us. We'll see you in our next video.